Today's topic of discussion. In case you missed it, family, we are talking about do this every single day and watch your growth begin to explode. One thing that I want to iterate during today's conversation is to help us understand that success is not about giant leaps. It's about consistent and focused steps that are taken every single day. I want to dive into, family, the overlooked habits that quietly power your progress and ultimately create lasting momentum. If you find yourself hitting a plateau in life, or maybe you feel stuck, I want to talk about how you can get on track and build momentum towards the life that you envision. And I also want to provide a practical step that you can start taking right now to, again, assist you in moving with confidence and moving closer towards where you aim to be in life. To begin the conversation, family, if you would, please comment below. Small hinges open up big doors. I want this statement to echo through your mind this week. As you approach this week's opportunities, remind yourself that small hinges open up big doors. It's the small things that can make a big difference. It's the small steps that add up, right? And create progress and momentum towards the success that we envision. And one might argue, they say, D1, hey, man, I've been taking these small steps and it seems as if it's not worth it. What we have to learn to do is to be consistent with those small things, because small steps in the right direction can end up being the biggest steps of your life. About 13 years ago, when I first began my entrepreneurial journey, I can remember thinking and assuming that success was more about the big and flashy moments, right? Like going viral on social media, making a big step or taking a huge leap with your business to create some progress, to create some lasting success. I often assumed that it was all about taking those big and massive steps. And that's what I focused on, right? Naively, I was focusing on doing things big. And I began to realize as I was evaluating my results, family, that ultimately my progress was very scattered and inconsistent. And then one day I had a conversation with a mentor of mine, and he pulled me to the side and he said, I want you to understand something, David. And he said, I know you're aiming to become successful. I know you're building a business. I know you're establishing your brand. I know you're building credibility in the space that you are in, but I think you're going about it wrong and incorrectly. And that's okay. Okay, my mind and my ears are open to knowledge and wisdom, and I'm receptive to some feedback that's going to give me some insights to help me move forward. He said, what you have to understand, David, is that if you want to build momentum, you have to ultimately master the simple things first. Everybody comment below, master the simple things first. And I said, what do you mean? He said, first and foremost, David, you have to wake up every single day creating a clear plan of action. Wake up every single day mastering your attitude and your focus. Every single day, protect your time as if it's treasure. Every single day, I want you to dedicate 20 minutes towards developing a skill and mastering your craft. And then he said, I want you to stay consistent with the actions that align you with your goals. Master the simple things first. And right there, it was a mindset shift for me, family. And as I began to take these steps, right, it felt funny and odd, right? I'm like, man, am I really doing something that's moving the needle towards success? Waking up every single day, working on becoming a better communicator, working on my speaking skills every single day, creating a plan of action every single day, working to master my mindset, trying to stay positive when the world around me seems so negative and the challenges that I'm facing are trying to hijack my mind. I'm filled with doubt, discouragement, but yet and still I stayed consistent. And something funny and amazing began to happen, family. It didn't happen instantly, but the more and more I showed up, the better I became. The more and more consistent I was, the more I began to attract the opportunities that were in alignment with what it is that I was aiming to experience. What I'm saying is this, family. We have to understand that when we conquer those small steps and when we stay consistent with those small steps, that's what leads to the big moments, the greater opportunities. And honestly, y'all, let's keep it real in this conversation. This is what most people lack. Most people are anxious to change their situations, but unwilling to change themselves. They're anxious for new opportunities, new outcomes, and new results. But when it comes to them doing something differently and showing up new, they don't want to have that conversation. But here in this community, as ambitious leaders, as individuals that are aiming to make an impact, right? As success warriors, if you're an entrepreneurial soldier or you're just a person that's aiming to grow, we got to think differently, family. We got to move differently, right? Be willing to focus on the mundane task, right? Those small, simple things, because it's those small things that add up and make a difference. Again, start every single day with a clear plan of action. Like, what is your intention as you approach this week's opportunities? What are you aiming to accomplish? What areas are you looking to improve? How are you aiming to grow? What are you going to do to invest in yourself? Create a plan of action. A mentor once told me, you want to create your plan, right? You plan your work and then you work your plan. That's our focus this week. Plan your work and then you work your plan. And as you're working your plan, master your attitude. There's going to be a number of things that try to knock you off course, but you got to protect your focus. Keep in mind, you are in control of the energy and the level of enthusiasm that you bring to every situation. Nothing can take that from you. D1 can't handle or not necessarily handle, I can't control, so to speak, everything that unfolds around me. But what I can control is what's happening within me. I can maintain a positive attitude. I can shift my perspective in an empowering way. I can find the solution in the problem. Instead of focusing on the difficulty, I can see the opportunity in that difficulty. I can master my attitude. And as you're mastering your attitude, dedicate at least 20 minutes every single day to developing your skills, becoming better at the work that you're doing, mastering your craft, becoming more proficient, gaining specialized knowledge, adding value to yourself. And the more value that you add to yourself, the more value you can offer others. And the more value you can offer others, the more opportunities will be presented unto you. And then most importantly, remain disciplined with staying in alignment with the life that you envision. That's what it boils down to, family. Everybody comment below, discipline is key. Discipline is key. I had somebody ask me the other day, and I'll say this and we'll wrap it up. But somebody asked me, they said, D1, how can I become more disciplined? I'm trying to maintain more discipline to create new levels of success. I want to improve the quality of my life. I want to become better at the work that I do. I want to become more disciplined. We have to understand that discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. Let that sink in for a moment, family. Again, discipline begins with you mastering your thoughts. If you're not in control of what you think, then you're not in control of how you act and how you behave. Now, granted, psychologists have done studies. There's been research studies that have proven on any given day, our minds can conjure up around 75,000 thoughts per day. I don't know about you. Your boy D1 cannot control 75,000 thoughts, right? And the majority of these thoughts are negative. I can't control all of these thoughts, but what I can control is this. I can stop those negative thoughts from controlling me. I can dictate where I'm going to direct my focus. So therefore, to become more disciplined, I want to direct my attention towards the things that I value, the things that I have pride in, right? The things that I want to connect with, right? The things that I want to experience, the life that I want to create, right? The success that I want to manifest. This is where you want to start directing your focus and your attention. Every single day, I challenge you this morning, remind yourself of what it is that you want. Remind yourself of why you want it. And most importantly, remind yourself that it's your personal responsibility to make it happen, right? I heard a quote the other day on social media where they said, nobody's coming to save you. Like nobody's coming to take you to that land of achievement that you envision. At the end of the day, you got to recognize that the ball is on your court. If it's to be, it's up to me. So therefore, you have to stay reminded of what you want. You have to be fueled by that why and remind yourself of why you want it. And then you got to remind yourself, hey, it's up to me to make this happen. The success is not going to fall on my front doorstep. I can't just snap my fingers and create achievement. My situation is not going to change and get better until I change and get better. So therefore, in some cases, I may have to bring something new to the table. I've got to exemplify more discipline. I got to maintain more focus. I got to protect my time, my energy, and my resources. I got to direct my attention towards the things that I value and make sure I'm protecting my mindset, because there's doubt, discouragement, disappointment, fear, negativity, all the things in the world around us, right? Social media and all these different distractions that are attempt to hijack my mind. So I got to protect my focus. But through it all, these are the simple and small steps that we could begin to take. And as you take those simple and small steps, this is what creates momentum. This is what builds growth. This is what creates transformation in our lives. You showing up consistently. You want to build a better business? Show up consistently. Improve yourself consistently. You want to change your physique? Improve the quality of your health? You show up consistently. Make healthy choices consistently. You want to improve your financial situation? Continue to build more value within yourself. Continue to add more value to others and show up consistently. The opportunities will begin to flow in your direction. You'll start attracting that value because you're representing value. That's one of the principles of life. In life, we don't attract the things that we want. We attract the things that we are. So the more and more you become the very thing that you envision, the more you're going to start attracting it. In essence, if there's something that you want, it's up to you to start reflecting it. Let that be our call to action this week, family, as I wrap it up. How will you start reflecting what it is that you want in your day-to-day life? Again, we can't just snap our fingers and hope that it just shows up. No, what are you going to do to be in alignment with what you're aiming to experience? You want to build your brand? What are you doing to take those steps? You want to build a small business? What are you doing to create that vision? You want to change your career situation? You want to improve the quality of your life? You want to make a deeper impact? What steps are you currently taking to reflect you becoming that type of person? That's the call to action. It's a small step, a simple shift, and every single one of us can start making it. Because again, if we focus and prioritize the small things, those small things add up and create big opportunities. Small hinges open up big doors. If you slid into this broadcast and I was unable to give you a shout out, be sure to comment below and let your boy know that you were tuning into the broadcast. And if you found some value in this broadcast, be sure to put some fist up in the chat below. Let me know you were picking up what I was putting down during today's conversation. And again, if you are new, put a number 1 in the chat and then place your first name afterward. Again, put a number 1 in the chat and then place your first name afterward. I know what's going on here, y'all, where we have these technical difficulties. The thing about it is this: when you have young toddlers, particularly under 5 or 6 years old, they get very curious when they see technology, different hardware and gear. It looks as if my youngins were in here tapping and hitting buttons, and they completely have thrown a lot of this off, but we'll work through the kinks. You can't do anything but just smile and laugh about it, right? But nonetheless, again, if you enjoyed today's broadcast and found some value in today's discussion, put some fist up in the chat below, and also share this out with the people that you care about. It's not too late for them to catch this particular conversation. They may not be able to catch us live, but they can still catch the replay. So if you're watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or again, X, formerly known as Twitter, please share this out with the people that you do care about. You never know how something that we discussed during today's broadcast can impact somebody that you know. And by you sharing this, you can be the bridge that connects them with the inspiration and the empowerment that helps them take their life to the next level. Excellent. Protect your focus, Mia. That's what I'm talking about. Your why will get you to where you want to be. I know that's right. Or better yet, he says your why will get you to your where. I'm loving that, Kevin. Excellent. No way. They just want to help out. Yeah, they helping out, Tanisha. They're doing that in a tremendous fashion. Absolutely. Nothing but a blessing, Mia. Nothing but a blessing. Excellent, Kevin. I see the fist coming up. Again, share this out with the people that you do care about. And for everybody watching this on YouTube, hit the like button. Again, I would truly appreciate that. It goes a long way in the algorithm. Also, speaking of social media, if we have yet to connect on other platforms, be sure to connect with your boy. I'm at #1 Gibson, including Instagram as well as Facebook. You can also connect with me on YouTube. I continue to reference that particular platform. You can go to www.youtube.com/David Gibson and then subscribe to my channel. I'm also on LinkedIn, so be sure to tap into that platform and connect with me there. Also, people ask how they can contribute financially to our particular movement and mission here in our community, you can be sure to send a donation to my Cash App. That's at $1 Gibson. Again, $1 Gibson to help support the work that I build and do with this particular community. And I would truly appreciate that. Also, be sure to visit my website, elevationisamust.com, for more information on my speaking and coaching services. And while you're there, be sure to tap into our online store. We got some new products on the way, some guides, some resources, mindset templates that will help you develop a more growth-minded state of mind, so to speak, as well as helping you build clarity around your purpose, your vision, and the goals that you want to establish for your life. So be on the lookout of that. Again, that's at elevationisamust.com, and check the online store. There's also some resources currently available, ebooks, physical books, all designed to help you master your mindset and build more successful practices and ultimately become a greater version of you. Also, many of us have expressed interest in our online community. I'll be launching that this week. Be sure to be on the lookout of that. If you are an ambitious leader, if you're a small business owner, if you are a content creator that's looking to build, looking to grow, and you're looking for a sense of community and a space that will help you expand your capabilities, sharpen your mindset, and stay focused on the impact that you're aiming to make, you want to be a part of this. If you find yourself feeling stuck or doubtful, if you find yourself ultimately lacking the confidence, or maybe even lacking consistency, as we talked about today, that's a struggle that you have where it's hard for you to maintain discipline. What we're going to be doing within this community is all about helping you build clarity, helping you be consistent, helping you maintain confidence, and ultimately giving you a sense of community. And at that, it's going to be very convenient. It's all within the palm of your hand, an app that we've developed where you can join. We'll have mastermind sessions, mindset empowering talks. There's going to be hot seats where we talk about challenges that we're facing as it relates to us building our ideas and walking through practical things that we could begin to do to become more effective as business owners, as content creators, to deepen our impact. We're going to be talking about mindfulness, health, and wellness, ultimately helping you become the greatest version of you. For those of you that have expressed interest, be sure that I do have your email address. Shoot me a DM as we conclude this broadcast. If you are interested and have yet to send me your information, be sure to connect with me either on Instagram at D1Gibson. Shoot me a direct message and then let me know what your email address is. I'll be sure to shoot you some information. Also, to make it easier, if somebody just would please put in my email address, info@elevationisamust.com. That'd be the most direct way that you can connect with me to get information on that particular community. Again, that's info@elevationisamust.com. If somebody would please type that in, I would truly appreciate that. Absolutely, Kevin. I'll be sending you some information, brother. Kevin is in the space of coaching and helping individuals tap into their purpose. So definitely, Kevin, we're going to be sharpening up some skills and helping you build that vision that you have to impact even more people. But again, if somebody will please comment below, info@elevationisamust.com. I'll put that up on the screen. And then what you can do to remember that, for those that may be watching this on Instagram, they don't have a messaging capability, so to speak, but you can, there it goes. Thank you, Angel. You can screenshot that. Therefore, once we wrap up the broadcast, you can remember the email and then shoot me your information. And then later on this week, I'll send you all the details on how to get enrolled, set up your account through the app, and then get on board as we continue to progress towards becoming the greatest versions of ourselves. With that being said, though, family, I thank each and every single one of you all for tuning in to today's broadcast. I'm hoping that somebody somewhere found some value. Most importantly, I'm hoping that you apply what we discussed during today's conversation to your week. Let's be consistent. Let's take those small steps. Dedicate yourself to doing the things that move you closer towards where you aim to be. Create a plan of action. Master your mindset. Develop yourself at least 20 minutes every single day this week to become better at the work that you do. You're worth the investment. Let's stick with it. Those small steps will add up and build momentum towards the success that you envision. Now, if you find yourself in a very difficult situation or a challenging experience right now, as you're under the sound of my voice, I want you to hear me clearly. This too shall pass. That's worth repeating. I know it's difficult. I know it's challenging. I know your back is up against the wall, but this too shall pass. What we don't want to do is to make a permanent decision that's based upon a temporary circumstance. Things can and they will get better. In fact, those are two beliefs that I want to encourage you to live with this week. Tomorrow can and will get better, number one. And then number two, I want you to believe that you have the power to make it so. No, you're not a victim of circumstances. You're a creator of circumstances. I understand life is difficult and times are hard right now, but you can change things for the better. You carry the personal power, the capacity to initiate and create positive changes in your life. You got to believe it. You got to feel it. Most importantly, you got to live it. Make power moves this week. I understand, even if you got tears rolling down your face, even if other people have doubted you and counted you out, I need you to believe in yourself, believe in possibilities, and believe that you can make a difference first and foremost in your life, as well as the world around you. Let's lead with that understanding. Let's lead with courage. Let's lead with purpose. And let's lead that life of impact. Family, if nobody else tells you that they love you this week, remember, your brother from another mother, D1 Gibson, has nothing but love for each and every single one of you. With all of that being said, Kevin, I feel like a preacher, man. That was like 4 or 5 different closings, right? But with all of that being said, family, thank you for tuning into today's broadcast. Again, let's apply what we discussed. We shall be back at it next Monday, 10 a.m.-ish. Eastern Standard Time. Will be on time next week, but again, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in the meantime, family, be effective, be successful, live with some passion, and most importantly, 3 pounds to your chest. 1, 2, 3, be powerful. I love each and every single one of you. Have a phenomenal Monday and a successful week. Peace.